Well, it's the end of January, um, another month gone, and another month of lockdown. So, 10 books. That's what I've read this January. 10 books. 7 of them are on Kindle, so you are going to have to bear with me while I flick around on my phone trying to get pictures of covers. And you know what problems I have with my phone. Dreadful. Right, so what did I read this month? The first book I read was on Kindle, and it was sent to me by NetGalley for review, and it was Tales of the Lost Horizon by Michael Eging. And this was a collection of short stories and poems and artwork, and it was a mixture of fantasy, sci-fi, and it was good. It's nice to read a collection, and I suppose in any collections you get some stories you love, some you're a bit ambivalent about. But on the whole, I rated this. It was varied. You had, as I said, you've got a mixture of fantasy and sci-fi. The poems, there was a lovely poem about Antony and Cleopatra. Antony, he does not go alone. And it's a version of a sort of retelling of Antony's death. You've got some super stories in there. There's an almost Hobbit-esque story where you've got elves on a quest and a dragon and a duel. You've got a quite moving story, the Cyber Heartbreak. That was quite a moving story. I think that was my favourite one in the whole collection. And you've got stories about pandemics and zombies and space travel, and yeah, you've got a really varied selection of short stories and poems. So that was the first one. The second book I read was 2020 Booker Prize winner Shaggy Bane by Douglas Stuart. Now, that's set in Glasgow, 1980, and it features Agnes, who's an alcoholic, and her son Shuggie. And it's the relationship between them. Agnes almost suffocates him with her, say, love for him. He is so devoted to his mother, he will do anything for her. He tries to protect her the whole time. It's actually based on the author's life. It's almost, I was going to say, it's not autobiographical, but he takes elements of his life because he was the son of a single mother who was an addict. But it's a story of hope, because you hope that Shuggie will have a better life than his mother had, the life that she always wants him to have. Number 3 on the list was, and I have got a cover for this one, The Snow and the Works on the Northern Line by Ruth Thomas. This, I think it's coming out imminently, and it is again sent by NetGalley, and it's the story of Sybil. It's one of these, it's a very gentle book, and it draws you in because it is so gentle, really. It's about Sybil, who works in a museum, and I'm struggling to remember the name of the museum, but it's something to do with prehistorics, because I did write it down in my little notebook what the title of the museum was, but never mind. It's the story of her, and she's quite happy with her life. She's got a boyfriend, Simon, and then her university tutor, who was a bit of a nemesis, comes back into her life. She takes a position as trustee of the museum. She steals Sybil's boyfriend, and it's the story of Sybil, who's so broken-hearted but desperate to get revenge on her nemesis. And it's just, Sybil is lovely. You are on her side the whole time. You want her to succeed. The next one, again, I've read quite a few from NetGalley this time, so bear with me because I've got to try and find this one. It's by Francis Spufford, and it's called Light Perpetual. Now I've just got to find it. And here we are. Is it going to stay or is it, here we are. Light Perpetual. And it's a story of almost second chances. He takes as the beginning of the story a bomb attack in 1944 when a bunch of Woolworths was destroyed and 15 children died. There's a plaque in where he used to work, a plaque he used to pass every day commemorating this tragedy. And he takes that as the story. He starts off with the bomb, and then he takes 5 children and he gives them a second chance. What would have happened to them if the bomb hadn't taken their lives? And so he tells the story of these children right up to almost present day. He takes different years and he gives us a snapshot of what they are doing in different time periods as we go through from 1949 right up to sort of the 2005, I think it is. And you've got the theme of music running through it. You've got religion running through it. You see these children who've got a second chance. And it's a book about would-be's, might-be's, could-be's. And I really, really enjoyed this one. Again, I don't think it's out just yet, but it will be out very, very soon. The next one was The Naseby Horses, which was a Christmas present, and it's set in the Fens where I live, so it was nice. My town got mentioned a couple of times in here, and it's always a funny feeling when you sort of see, oh, I live there. And it's to do with twins, Charlotte and Simon. Charlotte has gone missing, and we enter the story on day 3. She's been missing already 2 days before we even get to the story. And it's the same for Simon, her twin brother. He's epileptic and he's had 2 days in hospital, so he's coming out of hospital and entering the story the same time that we are. And we don't know where Charlotte is. He doesn't know where Charlotte is, but he thinks it's all tied up with a Fenland myth, the Naseby Horses, which is set around the area that he's living in. He comes to be a very unreliable narrator because of his epilepsy. We don't know whether he's remembering something that's happened or something that he thinks has happened. We don't really know what whether what he is telling us is true or not. Again, you've got themes running through the book. You've got birds keep appearing. You've got the bond between siblings, and the ending is just heartbreaking. It's again, I've had some good books this month. The next one is, you've just got, bear with me, I've got to find another one, another cover of this one. I don't think I've got a cover for this, have I? No, I haven't. It's called Love Letters from Paris by Nicolas Barreau, and it's set in March, which was lovely to read about because that's where we honeymooned when many years ago, and it was nice sort of seeing all these places that we remembered. And Julian has died. Julian, who's the main character, his wife died of cancer, and he promised on a deathbed that he would write her 33 letters, one for each year of her life. And she promised him that if he did that, by the time he got to letter 33, his life would be different. So you've got these 33 letters, and he wallows for the first year. He's wallowing in grief. He cannot move forward. He's got a little 4-year-old, Arthur, and his day, he's a writer, so he doesn't have a 9-to-5 job. He gets up, he takes Arthur to nursery, gets home, and that's it, that's his life. And the book is the journey through his grief, and you've got beautiful descriptions, and he's finding his way back to life almost. He lost his love, he lost his belief in love, he lost the power of dreams, but it's his gradual coming back and almost coming back to the land of the living again. And it's uplifting because you see the power of love in this book. 3 more to go. Patrick Ness's The Ask and the Answer, which was part 2 of the Chaos Walking trilogy. The first one was thrilling, ended on a cliffhanger. This one, we've still with Todd, again, thrilling, ends on a cliffhanger. I'm now waiting to get round to number 3. I'm running out of time. The next one was Hot Stew by Fiona Mosley, which is due out in March. And it's set in Soho, and it features a 17th century building that's got lots of layers. You've got a basement, you've got a restaurant, you've got apartments that are inhabited by prostitutes and immigrants, you've got a roof terrace. But the owner, Agatha, wants to rip it apart, rip it down, evict everybody and gentrify it, put something new and sparkling on there instead. And it's the story of these prostitutes, Tabitha and Precious, who stand up against the property developer. It's their fight to keep the building. But you've got so many other characters as well. And there's almost a Dickensian feel about it because there are so many characters and some of them are beautifully described. And you've got vagrants, you've got prostitutes, you've got this property developer, you've got lots of layers, and the ending is so surprising. It takes you by surprise. You don't quite expect it. The 2 more to go. Diary of a Somebody with Brian Bilston. I picked this one up because I had one of his others on NetGalley, and it's a mixture of poetry and prose, and it didn't really gel with me because I liked the poetry, but I didn't like the story that went with it because I didn't like the character. So that was one of my more disappointing ones this month. And then the final one is one that I needed to get the tissues out for, The Silent Treatment by Abby Greaves, which I've just finished on Kindle. And it's a story of Frank and Maggie who haven't spoken to each other for 6 months, and the secret that Frank is hiding, that he doesn't want Maggie to know. So a really touching book, full of emotion. So those were my 10 books that I read in January, and there's plenty to be going on with there. So if you fancy picking up any of them or have read them, let me know. And happy reading, and I will see you when I've read the first one of my books in February. So take care.